from what you are seeing, this new Trump administration, what do you expect it to do about this third world war that we're facing, where you've got Russia, China, Iran, North Korea, all helping each other, whether it's the invasion of Ukraine, attacking Israel, backing China's claims to Taiwan? What direction are you seeing?
We are in my judgment, a pre-war era. And I mean that these four countries that you named are collaborating, coordinating together, undermining the United States and like-minded democracies so they can influence and take control of the world. And they become considerably more aggressive and assertive these last 4 years. And the reason is they believe American leadership is weak and believe American leadership doesn't have the political will to confront them. President Trump, by being elected last Tuesday, has already forced all four of those countries to reassess. President Trump, I believe, very quickly on the international stage will set a framework that he is not going to tolerate this continued aggressiveness and assertiveness to undermine the United States and our like-minded democracies. Right away, we begin to reset the table and start to establish some deterrence.
I totally hear you on that point. I think it's spot on, except it runs at variance with Trump also suggesting that America will not be participating in any wars, which that cuts away from the deterrence. Now, Russian President Vladimir Putin, he's done exactly what you've just said, is reassessed it, decided that Trump will try to end the war in Ukraine when he's sworn in as president in 2 months' time, and seems to have quickly stepped up his attack to force out Ukrainian troops in the bit of Russia they've taken over around Kursk. Now, he's worried that Trump is going to say, whatever territory you got, guys, that's what you're going to keep, but you stop now. He's so desperate, Putin, that he's got his soldiers attacking in virtual human waves, getting blown up in enormous numbers in Kursk. Last Sunday, nearly 2,000 Russian and North Korean soldiers killed or wounded in a single day. Where do you think this is going to go?
Here's what the issue is. Putin that President Trump will be dealing with 4 years later than the Putin he was dealing with is very different. He is a wartime commander, and he's got his economy on a war footing. I want the administration to understand that they're not neutral in having Russia and Ukraine negotiate and work on a deal. We have a complete bias for Ukraine, who was invaded by a thug and a killer who wants to take over that country and has killed tens of thousands of innocent civilians and 60 or 70,000 Ukrainian people who are fighting in the war, and has taken and kidnapped some 30,000 children that are now being raised in Russia. How horrific is that? And committed atrocities. This is what we're dealing with. We're not neutral. Work out a deal that's favorable to Ukraine and force Russia to take that deal. That is what I think has to happen, and I think it is likely to happen.
You know, I have really respect for your views, but I also know that President Trump respects you. He has twice asked you to be Secretary of Defense. He's given you the Presidential Medal of Freedom. You've talked to him at length about what needs to happen. The analysis you've just given is very different to the one that some of in his camp are saying, particularly idiots like Tucker Carlson, and also his son, Don Jr. Are you going to advise him? Are you advising him? Will he listen to your point of view?
I will advise him as much as he wants. I'm somewhat optimistic about it because one thing I've noticed about President Trump, he has a viewpoint. He's tough-minded about it. But if you give him different or new information, he's quite coachable. I had a direct issue with this. He pulled out of Syria. The Secretary of Defense resigned over it. I had a discussion with him over it. I put a map in front of him. I got through, gave him some details. He said, okay, I got it. I got it, General Keane. And I asked the Vice President, is that a reversal? And he said, congratulations, General, that's a reversal. So he's coachable and responds to new information, as a president of the United States should do.
Thank you so much for that great insight. Really appreciate your time.
Yeah. Always great talking to you, Andrew, and your audience as well.